amount is probably $14,000.
14? Thank you.
Can I add something to this? What do we generate with Redstone on Montgomery Road? That one building, around 366 to 370,000 a year with that one building.
Yeah, we don't have an exact number. We're not entitled to that information, but the
Just wanted to
district
share that.
itself.
I just want to share that.
Yeah, the district itself probably, just based on what the district generates, it's probably $200,000 to $300,000.
And just to that point, again, trying to be a little conservative, I don't want to overestimate what those would be, because at the end of the day, we have to make some assumptions. We assume, I think, a $50,000 to $60,000 wage per person in the office building, and the standard tax rate on the hotel taxes. So it could be more or less, but I think the point is that it's a substantial amount of revenue that's generated in the township from this development. So the next slide, keep going. So we're here tonight to request the trustees approve the PD2 submission based on the significant benefits provided to all 20,000 township residents and the accommodations that we have worked hard to work with on the residents' concerns. We also want you to consider the following. If this proposal is turned down, our alternative, we have a couple of alternatives. One is that we develop the site as an office and retail use, which under the current SBI would allow us to, while not having more density in square footages, a lot more density in terms of people, because the density, for example, for office use is 4 people per 1,000 square feet. Our apartments are about 1.5 people per 1,000 square feet. And each of those office workers is driving a car. So if we go that route, we can do that under the current zoning, and we'll be looking at 50% more vehicles per day than our project. And by the way, there won't be a residential buffer between those office buildings and the neighborhood. The second option we would have is to sell the site. The most logical, maybe not the only buyer, but certainly most logical buyer would be Jewish Hospital. They obviously have some constraints based on the parameters of their current site. They need parking, they need medical office space, and they had bought one of these buildings 10 years ago and couldn't figure out a way to get all the others. We did. So the second option is that we would go, they'd be the first people we talk to in terms of potential sale of the property. That's not what we want. We think our development is a great benefit to the township, and it provides that transition that we feel is so critical in this mixed-use environment. We're transitioning from a higher intensity use on Montgomery Road, buffering that with the residential between those commercial uses in a single-family neighborhood. Okay, yeah, this slide just shows what that office development could look like. And again, this is just a block diagram, but we did the exercise just so we would know what we could do and ran financial models on it to make sure it worked. It's not what we want to do, but it is certainly, an option that if forced to, we'll take a look at. Next slide. So the PUD approval process has certain things that we like to look at in terms of the code requirements, and I'll go through those real quickly. Compliance with purposes of the zone district where the development will be located. The SBI specifically allows for our proposed development. Consistency with adopted objectives and policy of the township related to land use. Yes, this project supports and protects the residential neighborhoods and encourages private enterprise and job growth within the Sycamore Center core. Compatibility with surrounding land use. Yes, the core area where site is located is primarily made up of high-intensity commercial uses. Whether the size and physical features of the project enable adequate protection of surrounding property. Yes, the development plan includes a residential and green space buffer between the residence and commercial uses along Kenwood Road. addition, the quality and architectural features of what we do is of the highest quality. Whether proposed phasing of the development is adequately served by public facilities and services, we don't plan any phasing of the development. We're going to build everything at one time so that we keep the construction down to as short a time period as possible. And all of the outside agencies have responded to us, and there is adequate capacity for services. Number 6 is not applicable to the development. And number 7, whether modification of zoning and other regulations are warranted by the innovative design of the development plan. The project includes multiple uses that no one zoning addresses, yet is in compliance with the SBI district zoning overlay. The adequacy of proposed pedestrian circulation system. This development was designed to be a walkable neighborhood, so that whether you're in the multifamily, in the office, in a restaurant, or the hotel, you can go back and forth from all the uses that are on site. And we've also incorporated in development sidewalks along our property and across Kenwood Road, so that people in the adjoining neighborhood have better walkability to the east side of Kenwood. The adequacy of provisions for visual and acoustical privacy. The building layouts, landscape buffers, heights, lighting, signage, and architectural features were specifically designed and worked with the neighbors for visual and acoustic privacy. Based on that, this development provides a tremendous opportunity for Sycamore Township to create a development that will provide significant benefits to all township residents, while at the same time accommodating the issues that have been raised by residents. The financial impact to both the township and the Deer Park school system are significant, and we are respectfully requesting that you approve the PD submission. Any questions from the trustees?
Can we go back to signage?
Yes.
So, do you know offhand how many square feet you have both ground mounted and on the buildings for signage?
No. Did you calculate that, Greg?
Did
I'm
you
not.
calculate that, Greg?
I just went off of what you had on your drawings. You just listed a general square footage.
Is the proposal consistent with what's allowed in the code?
Yes.
It is, okay. That's what I was trying to
Yes.
say. Okay.
Yeah.
Both on the residential and on the commercial?
Yeah, actually, I think the initial calculations that we did were just based strictly on the residential. But when we take into account the hotel commercial and the office building commercial and the retail, those uses combined, they do meet the requirements of the code.
Doug, I have some questions, but I want to reserve those for later. Can I go back to talk to Craig later?
He's here.
Oh, I'll be here. I got a tent in the car.
Some questions later.
Okay, sure. No one else?
I have no further questions
have
at
any
this
right
time.
Okay.
I think it would be advisable for us to take a 5-minute, 10-minute break right now before we get into what will certainly be a long list of folks who want to talk. We will make it as short as possible, but let's take a very brief recess here.
Hello there, how are you? Good to see you. I saw you talk to your wife. You know I am Jessica's mom. Yeah, I saw your wife. I saw him. Trying to figure out. So if
Who's here? That I can't tell you where it went. I do not have it. I don't think you're going to make your broadcast deadline tonight. I have no idea.
Will they vote tonight?
I have no idea. It's, I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. They're going to have to, they'll take some testimony and we'll see kind of where it goes. Come up there and they're going to give their comments and name and address, and then they'll give their comments. And,
I got plenty of him.
you're going to have some for, some against. You're going to have a little bit of everything.
I may just say 1, 2, 3 and then go.
Whatever you got to
Is there
do.
anybody that we can call
Call when?
later tonight to see what happens?
Another thing about the phone. I'm gonna swing back around. I'll grab one of my cards, give it to you.
Okay.
You guys can call me and go from there. Yeah, I'm gonna go about this way since I don't go that way. Right. Yep.
Throw it in there, spaghetti. See? Actually, right now they're
You know,
Thank you.